in the audience tomorrow if you'd like. Tonight, Books and Books is very happy to have with us Ms. Meg Nocero and The Magical Guide to Bliss. But here to introduce Meg is her dear friend and colleague. Please welcome Ms. Denise Lane, excuse me.
Good evening. Welcome to a magical evening of bliss. I am so truly honored to introduce Meg Nocero and the Magical Guide to Bliss. Meg has asked me to give a brief testimony of my life, and I have led an amazing life with amazing experiences and successes. However, I led a life for a better part of my life, trying to have a relationship and to seek acceptance and love by someone, and I was never getting it. So I wake up every morning and have a void. And sometimes I could be in a room full of people and I would feel lonely because of that void. And I knew something was not right. Then I met Meg, and I connected with Meg and her energy. And I then followed Meg on the journey to bliss. And now I do live that sweet life. I do live this life of bliss. I wake up every morning with joy and with intentions. So I encourage each of you, when you wake up every morning, to wake up with no regrets, to love the persons that treat you right, to forgive the ones that don't treat you right, to believe that whatever happens, happens for a reason, and to enjoy your view. That's my testimony. Now to the reason we're here. Meg and I are dear friends. In connecting with Meg, I can unveil myself with her with no thought. I can surrender my soul to her with no judgment. I love her smile. I love her energy. I love her wisdom. I love her insight. She is just pure magic to me, and she really shines. I really encourage each of you every morning to wake up and read her book, The Magical Guide to Bliss, and read the daily guide, because if you do, you'll have a blissful, sweet life. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you to stand up and give a rousing round of applause as we welcome Meg to the stand.
Wow. I can just say wow right now. Thank you so much, Denise, for those beautiful words. Thank you to Books and Books for this incredible location to actually have my bookstore debut. I'm so excited about this. I've waited a long time to bring it all out to you, and I'm very grateful. So welcome, everyone, to my magical world. I just saw the cabaret last weekend. I don't know if any of you have all seen it. So they say the art is beautiful and magical. The music is beautiful and magical here. And we have actual aromatherapy to liven your senses, which is incredibly magical. Together, we're here to engage all of you in the magical guide, the journey to bliss. So, for those of you who do not know me, I'm a dreamer, and I very much so claim my tiara. So if you don't mind, it's a little helpful for me to put on my tiara tonight. Thank you very much. So like I said, I'm a dreamer, and I, over time, have lived by the mantra, magical work for magical pay, magical service every magical day. And service has become a very beautiful thing for me because I'm a dreamer. And as such, I look for the other dreamers in my world that join my journey, actually to guide my journey. I look for those who are seeking to follow their own bliss so I can learn the wisdom from them that so readily is available to all of us if we just open our eyes and reach out our hands to ask. And like all great dreamers in history, I seek to inspire others. And I also, as we all do, have a wondrous story to tell. And this just happens to be my story and also the story of the Magical Guide to Bliss. So once upon a time, there was a little girl, and I had a great imagination, and I lived in my little world, and I was very happy there. And I was able to take flight of fancies that I don't even know if were possible, but yet in my world, they were a possibility. And I was very blessed because I grew up in a beautiful Italian-American family who encouraged me to educate myself and to actually engage in my world so I could learn from others and open my horizons and open my eyes to the people that are surrounding me. And I was even blessed because my relatives came over from Italy to this beautiful country. We all have an immigration story here in Miami. I see it every day where I work, so I'm very well aware, and I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky that they made that decision very long ago for my personal family story to come to this country so I could have the opportunities that the American dream has to offer. Because remember, I'm a dreamer, and even better, when the dreamer has matched with the opportunities that the world has to offer, there is no limit, no bounds. I also was very blessed because in my family, I had a mother who was very influential in my life, who supported my dreams and was there all the time to say, why not? Go ahead and do that. Read stuff to open your mind. Engage in your world. Like I said before, I find even in the times when we butt heads, that was such a gift to me. It was a beautiful, beautiful gift. Even got to the point where I was able to travel all over the world. Luckily enough, when I was 19 years old, I actually lived in Roma, Italia, and I got to see La Dolce Vita, which is what we're here about today, right? La Dolce Vita, the sweet life. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? It's actually being able to explore your options, whatever comes to mind, and actually examine that. The examined life. Wonderful, beautiful. I got to be amongst the Italian tradition, experience the culture, see the art, engage with people that just started to just inspire me. And that was at 19, and it continued. It was continuing throughout my entire, my beginning stages of my life. And so outside looking in as a young woman, I was able to achieve those things in my life that someone outside myself would think that this is in fact the American dream. I actually studied very hard. I got my degree in law. I married a wonderful person, Frank, and I had at that point in time a beautiful son, beautiful dogs. I love my dogs. No one can talk bad about my dogs. They're a very important part of our family. And also, it was actually unfolding. My bliss was actually unfolding. I was able to see and actually come into life everything that I had ever dreamed. And when I had challenges along the way, I had my mother to lean on. She was there, constantly offering me support, constantly saying to me, you got this. And when I ever felt very, very disturbed, or we all go through those ups and downs of life, I could go to her and she offered me a lot of solace, encouragement, and I never felt like I was on my own here alone in this world, which is very challenging if you feel that aloneness. So I was very, very blessed to have an incredible relationship with my mother and my father as well. My father is, to me, an incredible genius. He's a jack of all trades. He reads, like this would be his paradise right now. He has a house that looks like this, to tell you the truth. This is his paradise. When people go to the house, it's an amazing library of incredible information. Just engage, engage, engage. And you can pick out books that you like, oh my goodness, may I take this? And they're like his friends. Don't take my book without asking me, basically is what you're gonna say. So I was very blessed. And then one day when I was about 6 months pregnant with my beautiful daughter, Ava, I received a phone call from my mother that pretty much rocked my world. We usually spoke every morning. I never woke up in the morning without having a phone call with my mother, hello, today's a great day. What are we gonna do today? She lived in Orlando, so 4 hours away, so we used the phone. It was a crutch, but I was grateful for the phone. And I got a phone call this day, and it was quietness on the other line, on the other side of the line. And I heard the words that changed my life forever. And my mother told me, and she was diagnosed with cancer. And I was so excited to be pregnant and waiting for this new life inside me. At the same time, I heard something that nobody ever wants to hear, especially when someone you love so close is talking about it. And I think at that point in time, I didn't hear anything else. I think I fell to my knees. And I couldn't believe it because I'm a dreamer and my mommy had cancer and this was not a part of my dream. This was nothing to do with my dream. But this is what I was facing in my reality. So as the constant dreamer that I am, I tried my best to dream a miracle for her. And I stood by her side saying, we're going to deal with this together. We have something incredible to look forward to. My beautiful daughter was born. She was the first granddaughter in our whole family on my side. And we're just going to stand by each other like the family that we are and support each other and hold each other's hand. And if you need my help, I'm here. You've been here my whole life. If I could pay this forward, that's what I was going to do. So remember, there's only so much you can do and wish and dream for in your life. And my prayer for her, for the miracle for her, actually was at the end when she was released from her body, because I don't know if anybody here has experienced the effects of cancer at the end of life, and it ravages a body and it ravages a soul, and it's exhausting to watch and it's painful. And the best you can do is hold their hand through the agony and the suffering and from the barbaric effects of chemo and everything. And I can tell you this, my proudest moment was standing by her side, being able to be there for her like she had been there for the 40 years prior of my life, and honor her life for all that she had given to me. But when she breathed her last breath, it was an incredible experience for me because I was praying for her by her side, and I actually felt her say to me, after I saw this incredible vision of a lighthouse surrounded by by bluest skies, and then a beautiful white light came over, and I felt her say to me, "Let me go." And I wasn't prepared for that at all. I wasn't prepared for that at all. And when I opened my eyes, she did, in fact, go. And I just crawled in the corner of the hospital room, and I just thought to myself, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? And from that point on, April 21st, 2011, which is, in fact, 5 years ago today, we buried my mother. And today I stand in front of you, very proud to say that she's standing with me right now. And from that point on, my journey began because I had to let her go and I had to actually see what I was made of. And I don't know about you guys, but that probably was the scariest moment of my life, because to lean on someone you know is going to give you unconditional love to the point where you have to let go of that, knowing that the love is still there for you, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. But I had to go on. Unfortunately, that realization didn't happen right away. Unfortunately, I went into a very dark place, and as I went into this quiet place of numbness where I didn't want to be with anybody at that point, I started getting an incredible ringing in my left ear from stress-induced somatic tinnitus. And I don't know if anybody here has tinnitus, but it's crazy, 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 because while you can be as quiet can be in this world, it's this screaming in your head. And I can't explain it, but the more I wanted to retreat from the world, the louder it would get. And it was up until this one point in time where I had insomnia. And I don't know if anybody's experienced insomnia, but it's the walk of the night walker. And you're walking at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, it can't possibly be that I'm up and the world is sleeping, because they must be experiencing the same thing I have been experiencing. But the bottom line is, I experienced this incredible, stressful, very difficult time in my life. And it wasn't until the point where I was driving to work one day, and I started getting anxiety attacks and panic attacks. And then I started foaming at the mouth. And I swear to God, I've seen the movie Cujo. And I thought, I haven't been bitten by a rabid animal, so I can't possibly have rabies, although I am a hypochondriac, and there are many times I do make up my different sources of where my diseases come from. But the bottom line is this. It was time for me to help myself. I had to take control and actually reach out to the various angels who showed up in my life, because it was time. And as a part of those angels, I met someone very, very close to me, and she said to me, it's time for you to connect to your mother again. You might be wanting to retreat, step away, but you need to somehow figure out some time in your life to connect to your mother again. So I'm a dreamer. I was like, well, if I have to connect to my mother, I have to. So 15 to 20 minutes a day, each morning, I made it a ritual. And after that ritual, I would write. And I would read, and I would learn, and I would get wisdom from so many different sources. And it became my constant conversation and dialogue with my mother. And like a beautiful painting, I started seeing clearly again. And from the darkness, I started seeing my path again and my journey. And I started appreciating music again, because as I wrote, I started to save myself. So words and writing became the cathartic need that I had to fulfill to start to write my way out of grief. Because I don't know if, unless you've gone through grief in your life, it's a very challenging experience. And there are many ways to reconnect with yourself, especially if you're trying to disconnect or detach. So what could have destroyed me, this loss I experienced, became the thing that actually saved me, because what happened was I did meet angels, people who wanted to help me, who really reached out to me and said that they're here for me and they're going to hold my hand the way my mother used to carry me through this really challenging time. And I started to find my laughter again, and I started to find my heart again. And I realized you don't ever lose the dreamer inside you. You have a lot of obstacles that you have to face in life. Some are really challenging that might totally annihilate you. But every dreamer in history, every person who has a story to tell, has faced their struggle, and they've come through to tell about it, and they tell their story. And many people just tell their story in so many beautiful ways. And here today, we're talking about La Dolce Vita, the sweet life. And they talk through the music, they talk through the art, they talk through words, they talk through dance. There's many ways, and I've learned over and over again through the wisdom that I've gained through researching and writing this book, what is necessary, what I need to focus on to actually help me through those times that are very challenging. So today, I look for my magical unicorns that are among the goats, the herd of the goats. And when I meet them, I get very excited because I know there's something wonderful that's going to happen, that I'm going to learn. And I don't give up. I don't give up because there's a beautiful world out there to explore, and it's still there. It's still waiting. And when I use this guide that I've written for myself, by the way, I get to point out different opportunities every day that bring me back to that concept that there's something wonderful waiting for me, expecting magic and miracles on a constant basis, starting my day with something that's going to lift my soul, enlighten my spirit, engage my senses in so many different ways. So I'm proud to be able to stand up here with all these incredibly beautiful people that I have met along the way, to be able to stand up here with you and share this dream I had that has become a reality. I've transformed this dream that was the magical guide, and now it's a reality I get to share with other people. I'm humbled beyond belief, because it could be any of us telling our story, and it could be any of us sharing what it is that we've learned on this path and inspiring somebody else who just needs to hear you. Because there's at any point in time that we all together need help, and we need to help each other along, and I feel like this is my contribution to do that. And once again, I'm humbled to have Denise Lane in my life, to have Hector Prado in my life. What a gift. And to have this beautiful singing band in my life. There you go. And then the beautiful aromatherapy that I get to, I don't know if you're smelling it, but I'm getting a whiff, man. I think it's amazing. So I'm curious now. I'm curious as to where this journey is going to take me, because the sky's the limit. And when my mother passed away, we released butterflies, and at that point in time, she was released, and I went into my cocoon. And I needed that time in the cocoon to actually see where my strengths lied, and to build that foundation back up again, and to get to know who I was. And when I came out, I get to be a butterfly, and I get to fly with all of you again, and we can be together, and it's amazing, and I get excited about that. And the darkness falls away, and I see the light again, and something wonderful is waiting for all of us, because basically, it's oh so Jandy Bellas, and let me tell you, we are all storytellers in this room, and it's time for you all to start telling your story, because this world needs amazing people like you to do that, to tell your stories and to inspire others in your small area of your home, in a greater beautiful place as well. It doesn't matter, but the world needs you to tell your stories. It's your way to leave their beautiful legacy for all people to hear, because nobody's more important than the next, And your message is not more important than the next, but you never know who that message is going to touch. You never know who that message is going to help. And let me tell you, mine just happens to be with words. That's how I express myself. This beautiful man just happens to be amazing expressing it with the colors of art. They express it with the music that comes out of these wonderful instruments that without them could not do a single thing. And she expresses it by being so creative with a different sense in this world. And also we have the wines and the sweetness of life that we actually can taste for ourselves. So I'm going to read to you a piece from my book that's actually for today's date, April 21st. And it's stated out, failure is not an option. Act as if it were impossible to fail. Dorothea Brand, American writer and editor. It is time to manifest the life of your dreams. After setting aside time to clarify what that life looks like to you, the key ingredient to making this vision a reality is to infuse confidence into your every next action. As long as you keep moving forward with a positive mindset, this belief in yourself and conviction that all outcomes will be favorable will empower you to do what is necessary to meet success. You are the only person who can give yourself permission to embark on a journey to fully realize your potential. Don't waste a moment more of your life doubting your abilities. Don't waste a moment of your life with self-deprecating behavior. Don't waste another moment of your life buying into someone else's limiting beliefs of what the universe has waiting for you. You have dreams and ability. Now make the decision to act and see it through. By using creative visualization, set out a roadmap that will guide you wherever you need to go. If you follow your passion and your bliss, failure will never be an option. This faith in yourself and resilience will take you far. Go out and set the world on fire by manifesting your own destiny. Today is a new beginning to believe in your potential, and with an air of confidence, you are one step closer to making all your deepest desires come true. The magical key to bliss: act as if it were impossible to fail. So, with that, dreams transform into reality. I'm holding in my hand something that is incredibly real for me. And I actually have a beautiful card that I received on the day my mother passed away 5 years ago from a friend that I was able to be there for, and that she actually wrote back to me and paid me forward what I gave to her. She says, "Dear Meg, I have been thinking about you today on the 5th anniversary of your mom's passing. I can't help but imagine how incredibly proud she must be of you and your strength, wisdom, perseverance, and grace. You have taken this enormous loss, one we must all face somehow, somewhere, and envisioned and embraced the challenge to reach new understanding and find your truer self. And then you shared it with us all. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for the many, many people you reach every day whose worlds are better because of you and Mary Jo. Sending hugs and magic." So I am humbled once again to know that I was in one way able to help somebody with the experience that I went through, the struggle I went through. So I invite you all to taste the sweetness of the wine and the desserts in front of you, and smell the roses on a daily basis with these divine scents. Delight in the beautiful paintings that come to life right before your eyes. And then glowing brilliantly, start to believe when the music plays that the stars truly shine for us. It's that simple and so sweet. And for that, I always say, attitude of gratitude. What am I ungrateful for? Everything. I have no regrets. mother's name was Mary Jo Sant'Angelo Nocero. And, oh, my mother. And I know my father is watching and my sisters, so I want to give them my love. Molto amore, yeah? So I am, like I said, very grateful to have the opportunity to speak to all of you and that you're all here tonight. This is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful evening with me. It could not have happened unless I had this beautiful collaboration with these amazing people, like I said, because we wanted to introduce my book, but we also wanted to engage the senses. We wanted everyone to have a full experience, because there's many ways people can actually experience something, and who knows, some people do it with music, some people do with dance, etc. So we offer them all to you, the 5 senses, and offered them to you as a gift, basically to thank you for sharing this gift with me. So I first want to introduce you once again to Denise Lane. Not only is she an amazing person, and I have the very, very, very biggest blessing to actually engage with her at my place of business. She's an immigration judge, a very respectable immigration judge in our courts, and her story is even more amazing than that. She has started a group called Sisters in Spirit, and she inspires so many people on a daily basis to serve, and she's involved with the Joshua Hart Foundation. She's involved with serving the needy with the food drives in the community. She's involved with giving back what she's gotten and her sweet life, because every time you're engaging with anybody on any basis whatsoever, you're bringing your sweet life, and you never know what you're going to do to that person. So I want to thank her so much to being a part of this compilation and collaboration, and she's one of my favorite unicorns, that's for sure. So I also want to introduce you to Stella Rudd. I had the incredible, opportune experience to get to know her when we did our Shine event this last year. It's the Spirit, Hope, Insight networking event. And she is so incredibly talented with soaps and beautiful visually, as well as the sense that basically waking up your sense of smell. She has her beautiful company that's just starting out from, her origins are from Brazil, which I love. We're like all this international mix of wonderfulness up here. So from Brazil, we got the samba up here, yes. We got the samba. Her company is Primitivas, and she is just an amazing person. If you ever had the opportunity, which I hope you do tonight, to speak with her afterwards, she'll explain to you what exactly went into these beautiful treats for the senses. So I want to thank her so much for joining us tonight as well. And I wouldn't be here right now without Mr. Prado, Hector Prado. I was blessed to have the opportunity to see him paint a butterfly, which is for me a very significant thing. And it's now, what is it? How big is that thing? 60 by 48. Okay, so that 60 by 48 is in my bedroom. Because I have a condo, and let me tell you, there's really not a lot of room. So I figured when I wake up in the morning, if I see it, I'm happy. And he's just being really nice to let me put it up there. So my husband, we wake up to the beautiful butterfly. So I think of him and bless him every day with a prayer of wonderfulness as his career takes off. He just got accolades by getting noticed as one of the up-and-coming new artists in not just this community, but nationally. So, I mean, you can dream it, but I mean, really, it's really awesome when it comes true. So there you go. And I have just had the wonderful opportunity to collaborate because, I mean, I am a frustrated artist who just loves to paint, and so is my daughter, because the last time we actually were watching him paint, she walked home and she had white all over her dress, and I'm like, what happened to you? Were you in the paint? I was like, what did he do with you? But she was so engaged, she wanted to touch everything. So I think that's amazing to expose children to the arts and to the music and everything. So I thank him for inspiring my own family, and I can't even tell you, and he's this amazing person too, and just a beautiful spirit. So thank you so much, Hector, for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Meg, for this invitation. I really feel honored to be here. Not because I'm painting, but because painting is beyond of beauty. Painting is meaningful. And we're here for something. we are together for something. I've been part of the MEC idea, and I feel astonished. I feel like, wow, what a honor. And thank you for all you are teaching me. I really appreciate when you come to me and select me as one of the artists. I really feel like, wow, I'm doing something well, I think. But let me tell you something. I want to say something to you. Is you are one of my top 5 more interesting persons that I feel I've ever met in my life.
Okay, so I'm good.
And I want to tell you why. It's not just flowers that I'm going to throw her. It's because I always, that I talk to her, we laughing. We laugh. I don't know why. We can, our subject could be something funny, but we laughing all the time. And when you are with a person that makes you laughing, keep that person close to you. Keep it. Yeah? Because you need that for your soul, for your mind, for your heart. Keep it for you. And let me tell you a little bit about this painting. This is a woman that I fell in love when I was a child. She is the actress of La Dolce Vita. She is the actress. Her name is Anita Ekberg. You have to watch this movie. When I saw that movie, I say I have to be so romantic in my life. It's an amazing movie. It's a film. I was a child and I feel gospel in my stomach and watch that movie. You have to see it.
And he wants to be called Marcello by his wife. So he goes, Marcello! That's what she said. If you see the movie, you'll understand. But yes. Is that his nickname? No.
Federico Fellini changed the world in the film. And you have to see that movie. La Dolce Vita is not just a pretty movie, it's a meaningful movie. And I honor her. She died, already died, but I think it's beautiful. And we honor her in some way. And I want to introduce, to her world, to the film world that is very inspired for artists like us. For now, that's the timing. That's the timing. My name is Hector Prado, just in case you want to follow me in my social networks. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, everything. You have to be in social network right now. But I'm painting. I'm a painter that dream like her. I'm a painter that I'm pursuing my happiness, my dream. And I started painting just 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Why? When I was a child, I have a dream. When I grow up, I always say that when I was 8 years old. When I grow up, I want to be a painter. But the society changed your mind. Money changed your mind. You change your path. Why? I don't know. When you are a child, you dream big. When you are an adult, you dream small. You have to think big again. That's my phrase today. Go back to that dream that you never pursued because A, B, or C. 2.5 years ago, I was alone at home, and I decided to pursue the dream of that little child that is inside of me. Everybody have a dream inside of me, and I tried to pursue it. And guess what? I have a gift that I put it in a box for 10 years. Don't do that again. Right now, I feel happy that chance come back again, and I'm trying to show to the world something that happened meaningful. Thank you so much for appreciating her work, my work. And let me introduce right now that beautiful band. The Columbus Avenue, please applaud for them. By the way, let me tell you, this is a millennium band. It's a millennium band. It's totally the opposite of different for us. But they have skill and talent that need to show to the world. I encourage them to follow their dream, like me when I was a child. By the way, they are my daughters. Valen Prado, the singer, Paloma Prado, the bass, and his friend. pursuing their dreams too. They are pursuing something that they have, a skill that they have in their heart, and you have to follow them. This is meaningful to you. We are here 50 people, so you have 200 over there. That is a concert for me. Thank you so much for coming. One more thing, please enjoy the wine. That wine is amazing. It's not just our sponsor, it's a friend of mine that really try hard, you know, to have this wine for you. You can enjoy this wine. It's La Rosa Negra from Spain. It's something that is very unique, and you have to try it, please. And follow them to follow them.
So everybody ready to be their childlike self again, right? Everybody ready? Okay, let's see what wonderful, magical things are going to happen from when you walk out of this room tonight, right? Right now, we're going to open it up to question and answer if anyone has any. You're welcome to ask us. If not, then we can enjoy the wine and the Dolce Vita sweets, too. Any questions? No? No? Well, then I'm going to say thank you once again. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I love your book, and you have a skill about how you write that is so intriguing to read and keep reading, and I look forward to reading it in the morning. And I'm curious as to how you came up with the quotes that you begin each day with. Where did you come up with them?
So actually, when I first started to write, it was very interesting because I asked the question that I needed to have the answer to. And it was really an ongoing conversation with my mother because every day I would ask her, what do I do with this or that? And, you know, you bother your mother with everything. They need to answer because they're the smartest people that I know. And it started out as if I would pick something up that spoke to me. I started reading it, and there became the answer to my question. So that is how I picked the quotes. And then from the quotes, I started writing the answer. And the answer just became a dance of words. It was a dance of words on the on the paper. And it just like came to life. And I felt as if I was tingling after I would write it because, oh my God, I got to tell people about this. I got to tell people about, how can I be the only one to read this and get inspired and go out into the world and like say, my God, listen to it. And, you know, people, sometimes they get a little overwhelmed by my passion, by my, you know, I don't know. I can tend to be a little too Italian maybe at times. But so it was actually an opportunity for me to start a conversation because then I started writing and I started sharing it through email to anybody who wanted to receive them. So I got to share. And I would get responses back that people needed to hear the same thing that I was yearning for, the questions that I was looking for to be answered. And over time, it just became this incredible conversation, and the words became my friends. And when I heard someone say to me, and I was like, oh, no, I have the perfect thing for you, because I could start spilling out what I learned from this wisdom that I gained, and it was from anything, any books I would grab. I can see why my father loves books and they become his friends, because they're my friends. I write on my books. You cannot get past a certain page in my book without seeing handwriting and notes. And I was just talking about this with a good friend of mine. We're saying it's like they're guides to you. They're guides to you. People don't recreate life. We create a life, and we build on it. So when we stand on the shoulders of giants, we have to know what we're standing, whose shoulders we're standing on. So the quotes would come to me as if this is something I need to know, and then it would just go from there. And the coolest thing about the book is that I have an incredible cousin. She's an incredible editor. Her name's Margaret Santangelo, and we worked very closely together as we put it into the 366 Insights. And it started off with Carpe Diem, Seize the Day in January, going all the way through December, which is Magic and Miracles, because December is just magical for me. I had my 2 beautiful children. I was born in December. I'm a unicorn. I'm magical, so there you go. I mean, come on, I got my tiara on. I can say things like that. And I work with a lot of lawyers, too, so I love sharing it with them. Like, open up your mind, people. Let's go, you know? Yeah, because life is too short. And, I mean, amazing artists like we saw today with Prince. I mean, man, did he bring music to our souls. wow, I was listening to those songs and it brought me back to 16 years old. And that was what quotes can do for you, and the music can do for you, and the words can do for you in any way, shape, or form. So that's basically how it started, and it hasn't stopped. And I don't really want to stop because I'm enjoying this journey, and I'm on the train, right, Denise? And we're on the train, and there's no stopping us. And if you want to join my train, welcome aboard. If you want to start your own joyride, go for it. I'm there behind you. So, yes. Well, I'm in the process of writing what is aptly called La Dolce Vita, the Year of Magical Thinking. And it's basically how this journey is unfolding now. And it's more of a memoir of what actually happened, because I think that by sharing your story, which I know each of you have an amazing story, like I said before, being the storyteller is really important, because a lot of people are very alone in their pain and they think that they're the only ones going through it. And when you open up to that vulnerability that's inside you and share it with another person, you can relieve a lot of the suffering when it doesn't necessarily need to be. So my next book is all about how I went through it and how I got myself past it, and now what I get to experience in my life, which I can't even say is anything less than magical at this point. So, yes.
In regards to sharing and coming from a Latin country as well, as most of us here, and of course I'm sure that from other countries as well, do you have any plans in translating it?
Well, this journey of mine has been an incredible journey, even more so because of the network that I've built over time. And I found myself on CNN Espanol talking to Carla, and my first television interview in the Spanish language, which is not my first language, by the way. And I did go there thinking that I was going to be conversing with them in English and subtitles were going to come out of my mouth somehow. But when he said, Buenas noches, bueno, yo estoy aquí con Meg Nocero, I'm like, oh my God. And I looked at my friend Barbara and I'm like, vamos. So I do speak Italian too. And I think that the first maybe 5 minutes came out in the Italian language, which he was very patient with me because I started moving my hands. And once I start moving my hands, it's all over. So I think I said veramente, 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 veramente a million times. But the most amazing thing from that particular experience was I have a following now in Latin America, which Ecuador, pray for Ecuador right now. They need a lot of our prayers and assistance and help. Colombia, I had friends from Venezuela write me emails and like, what are you doing on Latin TV? I didn't even know you spoke Spanish, Meg. So... And, in my office, I try not to be so vocal about that because then people ask you more questions. And I really, really, really sometimes I'm so busy I can't answer them. But anyway, so the answer, very long answer to your very short question is I'm working on it. I have had that door open to me, and I've been very lucky as well because I had another individual contact me and approach me to do another interview in the Spanish language. Go figure. I'm thinking, wow, God doesn't put challenges in your way without you thinking that you can handle it. So I was like, if it's there, I'm taking it. So, yes, so we'll see. Bueno, vamos entonces, ¿no? Tal vez en español, italiano, who knows, francés, I don't know. Let's see if I can add that. I am a language major, so there was a reason. There's always a reason for everything. I started my career in Colombia when I was in high school, in Bucaramanga, Colombia. So I know one of my friends here is from Bucaramanga. Beautiful, beautiful place. And it's where I think that my spirit actually took flight really for the first time because, merengue, salsa, cumbia, aguardiente. You have no fears after you drink aguardiente. And at 16 years old, my Colombian friends know there's no drinking age. So at 16 years old, I just thought I was this little, I don't know what. I was like, oh, hello, everybody. Like, I was the sunshine and, like, the star of Bucaramanga because I don't think they ever saw a gringa before. I went there. So who knows? I'm open to the possibility of however my life decides to unfold because I believe the universe is unfolding exactly as it should as long as I'm ready to say yes to the challenges and opportunities. It's going to be a fun ride. And I get to be a kid again, right? We all get to we get to play, which is more fun. And my Colombian friend here, oh my God, I heard of Colombia. I was like, oh my God, it's my third favorite country, fourth, I don't know. But it's wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, so that's...
It would be amazing. It would be great because not all of us, not all of my friends do speak English, and I would love to share your
Oh,
book.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, I don't know if I could do it. It took me 4.5 years to write it in English. So I'm thinking, since Spanish is my second language, it might be a couple 20, 30 years if I do it myself. So I got to find the right person to help me work that one out and basically see that part of the dream come true. So yes, very exciting. Who knows? Wow, that is exciting. I got excited. I just got excited. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes.
When do you feel like your journey truly began?
The journey. Wow. I think of the day I was born, really, but I don't really. I don't think I really knew it then. The journey began. This part of my journey began the day my mother died, and I just wanted to die. To be quite honest with you, I didn't want to live, and which is a really hard thing to say out loud because you have your beautiful children here, you know, and they're here listening to this, but I don't know, when you feel that loss for the first time and that incredible bond just being taken from you. So I think that this part of my journey began that day when I was basically not knowing where it was going to take me. I think when they say, the hero's journey. I don't know, did you ever hear about Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey and how the hero hears a call and the call wakes up the hero and the hero can say yes to the call or ignore it. But if they ignore it, it kind of haunts them. And I'm thinking that the tinnitus that I was experiencing was haunting me because every day I had to experience this loud ringing in my head. It's like a wake-up call, like, wake up, I'm not going away until you wake up. And, it's interesting, he says my laughter, and I can't tell you that the day my laughter came back, I was with Cecilia Shaw and Ava, who've been incredible healers for me, and I said, my God, I must be getting better. My laughter's back again. And I love to laugh. There's nothing better in the world. There is nothing, but even at yourself, because I could be making a fool of myself up here, and if I can't laugh at myself, what's it worth, right? I mean, I love you people. I'm relinquishing the need to be perfect in front of you because I'm not, as I kick this over and probably fall on my face, but there you go. If you can't laugh at yourself, then life is too important to be taken seriously. Oscar Wilde. Excellent read for you. Excellent author. So the journey, there's, I think, many different phases of the hero's journey. We go through them. It's ups and downs of life, and how we live them is our choice. But I think the journey happens all the time. It's what you're on, and your awareness is huge because you got to start paying attention and being conscious as to what's going on around you. And you're incredibly young, which I think is fantastic because imagine you have this incredible journey and that you're here actually open to this. Wow, I am honoring you because there are children in this world who are more and more like you. So thank you. Thank you for being that hope for us that are coming behind us. So you want? Yeah, well, so we have a special grand finale for all of you. And once again, thank you so much for being a part of this night. It's magical. Thank you very much. So go ahead.
Okay, first of all, this, of course, this art have a meaningful. It's for sale. In a gallery, it could be around 2,000. Tonight, we're gonna start bidding for 1,000 with a good cost. We're gonna use this money for this band.
Woo!
We're going to Philippines. We're raising money to help them. You can help us buy this art. Because now you can see an artwork that you can appreciate it in daylight. Now you're going to see how you can appreciate it in nightlight. A very romantic place. Please, can somebody turn down the lights?
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
So if you did buy a book, I will be signing them over here at this table, and I do have something yellow for you to take home. So remember, the stars, they shine just for you. So pay attention, people, because the world is going on, and it's beautiful, and it's a great experience. So engage with the senses and tell about it. Tell your story, people. Thank you so much again.
Folks, if I could ask you to fold your chairs as you rise and put them in the back, that way we'll have some room for the author to sign. The books are for sale behind the counter. Also, Stella's, all of her scents and soaps and so forth, they are for sale out in front as well. So make sure you pick up some of those as well. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you.